UAW President Shawn Fain is pulling absolutely no punches when it comes to the current state of the Democratic Party.
In this party, they can't decide who they want to represent.
It is no small thing that the President of the United States said what is absolutely true. And Jake, we don't talk about this enough. And that is when you got three people on top who own more wealth than the bottom half of American society, 170 million people. You know what? That's oligarchy. When you have massive concentration of ownership in our economy, fewer and fewer corporations owning and controlling the economy, that's oligarchy. When you have more and more billionaires, whether it's Musk owning Twitter or Murdoch owning Fox, or other billionaires owning newspapers, that's oligarchy. And lastly, and most importantly, and I think Biden made this point, is we have just come through an election where you get one vote, I get one vote, but billionaires were able to spend many hundreds of millions of dollars to elect or defeat the candidates that they wanted. You add all of that up, massive concentration of ownership, massive income and wealth inequality, massive amounts of political power. You know what? You just can't go around saying, well, Russia and Putin, they're an oligarchy, but we're not. You know what? We are.
The fight here feels like it's on a different scale than the kinds of legislative counterpoint stuff that I think Democrats and Republicans are used to fighting over. And I think what Americans are sort of clamoring for is to hear from you personally, as the senior Democrat in Washington, in the House where the margins are so narrow, to hear from you that you understand the scale of the threat and you have ideas about how to interrupt what feels like something that we have not experienced since the Civil War in terms of the threat to our republic.
Well, it's certainly the case that we understand the scale of the threat. That can't be doubted.
The Democratic Party is not a left party. The Democratic Party is a center or center conservative party. We do not advocate for, we can't even get a floor vote on Medicare for all. Not even a floor vote that gets voted down. We can't even get a vote on it. So this is not a left party. There are left members inside the Democratic Party that are working to try to make that shift happen. But you're right, it does convey a certain sentiment about true believers. And there are a lot of true believers in that we can capitalism our way out of poverty in the Democratic Party. If anything, that's probably the majority.
Right.
And that's an area in which I agree with Dr. King. That assessment is flawed.
The Democratic Party is still in shock and awe that the American people would re-elect Donald Trump after everything he's done. But the bigger issue with the party and the establishment itself is that they're too damn old. I mean, this really isn't that difficult to understand. Obviously, we have the issue with corruption, and that is an issue no matter who's in office, if you're 25, 32 in office, or if you're 88, like half the damn Congress and Senate is. I mean, these people are in their 70s and 80s. There's not much new that we can expect from them. Even Bernie Sanders, as much as we all love him, he's in his 80s. He's not going to be around for that much longer on this earth, let alone in the Senate. So the good news and the silver lining for that is that a lot of new people have the opportunity to just flat out win these elections. The public sentiment for the Democratic Party is very low right now. And as I just pointed out, so many of these people either won't be running again or they're 75, so it'll just be easy to get them out. AOC has a bright future in the Democratic Party. She didn't win the committee vote this time, but next go round, she probably will. It's our job, it's the public's job now to get better people in office. So I think, again, the silver lining is that we, the people, can make a big difference right now, given the fact that the Democratic Party is failing so miserably.